Well, good morning, all of you beautiful love streamers out there, and all of you who are on Facebook and YouTube and Zoom. We want to welcome you here to the Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte. I am your host, Horace. If this is your first time, we want you to know that we are so delighted that you have chosen to join us today. Because with modern technology, we are extremely grateful for this opportunity to touch so many lives, especially as we share those wonderful happenings that's occurring here at CSL Charlotte. So please feel free to visit our website, cslcharlotte.org, put in a prayer request, and subscribe. We add our recordings to our website each week. So let me tell you about who we are. The Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte is a new thought community living in ancient wisdom philosophy based on the science of mind. This science of mind philosophy was developed in the early 20th century by writer and lecturer Ernest Holmes. So let me tell you, Dr. Holmes was a man on a mission. He studied truths from all of the world's religious traditions and spiritual paths. Holmes developed a fresh new way for us to look at ourselves and how we fit into our world. He's been referred to as the great synthesizer for synthesizing all of these great truths from everywhere around the world. So at CSO Charlotte, we want you to know that every philosophy is honored along with every race, sexual orientation, and physical distinction. We are a diverse, open, and affirmative community. There are many paths to the divine. We may call it God, peace, love, spirit, infinite mind, or the I am presence. But what I want you to know, it really doesn't matter what you call it. But what is really important is that you know that this is your power that resonates within you. You do not have to leave your philosophy or nature of knowledge. You could join us anytime because we recognize and refer to many of the Holy Scriptures, such as the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, the Upanishads, and the Bhagavad Gita. And that's just to name only a few. So, our vision statement here at the Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte is to continue a spiritual community that creates and prepares a succession of future leaders who can fully integrate, teach, and expose the science of mind principles, messages, and practices that strengthen the mind, body, and spirit of individuals. One of our aims is to create a high collective consciousness for everyone in this community. We teach everyone the tools to do just that. So come and join us as we meet each Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. for our consciousness meeting. And you're going to find out more about that when we talk about opportunities, because we fully believe that if you engage yourself on Tuesday evening when we have our consciousness meeting, you will really find a lot of tools to apply to what we actually going to be talking about today. And so our theme for today is living our values powerfully. And so I want to welcome everyone and I want you to enjoy our service as we celebrate this powerful being which lives within each and every one of us. So before I pass the mic over to our illustrious spiritual leader who's going to exemplify more and more about that theme about living our values powerfully, I want to leave you with this thought. So take a deep breath and listen to this thought. When I find something I value, I systematize it into my daily habits. Then I live by my efforts freely and effortlessly. So, with that, I'm going to turn it over to our illustrious, fearless leader, Reverend Rosedale.
Wow, fabulous. Thank you, Horace the Bush. That is our coordinator our systems coordinator, everything that works in this community, that where we're going to be, who's going to be up next, who's on first base, comes through that mind. Ooh, isn't that awesome? So that all being said, thank you, Harrison Bush. But one thing I thought was really nice, the way you said our topic, living our values powerfully. You said that thing with such conviction. So I loved it. So anyway, thank you. So everybody listen, whether you're on YouTube or wherever you are, virtual communities everywhere, listen to this. I want to welcome you to CSL Charlotte, the Mind, Body, Spirit Center. Today, like Horace said, our attention is on living our values powerfully. I like that. Yeah. He made me really like this title so much better. So why not get started on living our values powerfully? So we start all of our Sunday celebrations with an opening affirmative prayer. So that's how we set the tone. So leading us in prayer this morning is our emeritus spiritual practitioner, Maureen Thurston, aka Mo, in Lakewood, California, Colorado. Ta-da! So listen to Mo's prayer and you'll hear whether she's living her values powerfully, because she's practicing on many levels to keep living her values powerfully anyway. So if you want to put in a prayer request because you want to practice living your values powerfully, then go to our website right now. Request a prayer so you can read it every day on how to live your values powerfully. Now, here's the thing. You have to put in a prayer request and by your choice. And this way, Mo, who's going to open up for us today, is going to send you a prayer right into your inbox. So with that being said, Mo, please let it rip.
All right. Thank you. So as we start off this amazing Sunday, I know that each and every one of us is blessed beyond any type of measure. That as we go into this service today, we do so with an open mind, with an open heart, and with ears that hear exactly what is ours to ascertain from this amazing message that Reverend Rosedale is going to give us and share with us today. I know that this service runs smoothly and easily, and that all of us are fulfilled and enriched by this time that we celebrate together here today, celebrating CSL Charlotte and who each and every one of us are. So as I release this into that state of pure creativity, I know that it has already taken root. It is already manifesting within this platform here today, right now. So I release, I let go, I let God, and together we can affirm this and lock it in by simply saying, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Mo. That was fabulous and it really lights us up. I know we're ready. So, next on our platform to really shake things up is our reader, JT, otherwise really known as Jarifa Trailer. So JT has this strong conviction, I can tell, about serving and about also working within herself. So she plays a lot of roles with CSL Charlotte, and I am so grateful to her for that. So I gave her a talk title the other day. I always give her the talk title, but this the other day I gave it to her. And she just pounced right on that reading. And she came up with a reading that just fits so well with living our values powerfully. So after JT's reading, really listen to the song in the silence, because in the silence, we listen to our inner self, and then we discern the actions necessary to begin living our values powerfully. So JT, make it do what it do.
Thank you, Reverend Rosedale. Today's reading is titled Living a Values and Principles Led Life by Elizabeth Raleigh Hogue. Living a values-led life is a powerful way to navigate the world. As a spiritual person, I include spiritual principles in my system of values and refer to them as values and principles. A standard is a widely accepted norm or criterion that guides behavior, practices, or quality and serves as a benchmark for comparison. An ideal is an inspirational concept or vision of perfection. It represents what we strive for, even if it's only sometimes attainable. You can catch yourself operating from a standard or ideal when you say, you or I should do or be X, Y, or Z, rather than your authentic self. This statement and belief leads to guilt and shame when we or others don't live up to who we think they should be or how we think they should look, act, or otherwise. Values refer to the beliefs and attitudes that are important to us. They are deeply ingrained in our psyche and shaped by our upbringing, culture, and experiences. Principles are fundamental truths or rules that govern behaviors and actions. Universal and timeless principles apply to all aspects of life. Loving kindness, adventure, fun, compassion, and humor are essential values and principles in my life, not to mention my most significant value, spirit. My relationship with God of my understanding is of the utmost importance. Spirit first, and everything else falls into place. Remember, while standards and ideals may change with circumstances, values and principles remain steadfast, shaping a meaningful and purposeful life. Be committed to your values and principles instead of standards and ideals. Standards and ideals keep us stuck in the polarity of right or wrong, or good and bad, while knowing our values and principles empowers us to live our lives with intention, powerfully creating light and goodness daily. I choose to live my life guided by my values and principles for a few reasons. Number one, authenticity and integrity. While we align our actions with our core values, we live authentically. Integrity becomes our compass, guiding us even when no one is watching. This consistency fosters truth and self-respect. Number two, clarity and purpose. Values provide clarity about what truly matters to us. They help us prioritize and make decisions that resonate with our inner compass. Principles are universal and timeless, giving us purpose and direction. And then number three, resilience and fulfillment. Living by principles allows us to navigate life's challenges with resilience. Honoring our values gives us a more profound sense of fulfillment and well-being. Do you know what your values are? What makes your heart sing and blows your hair back? What's important to you? Sometimes other people tell us what they think our values are and what they should be. You don't have to subscribe to their values because those are their values, not yours. And so it is.
Wow. Take a nice deep breath here. We're going to start with a 1 or 2 minute centering. And relax your eyes, and you could look into your lap just to get close into this talk today. And as you do, breathe in really deeply. Open your spirit wide so you can hear, see, feel, taste, and touch as you exhale everything that goes on from this point on. In the silence, living our values powerfully has so much to do with taking time in the silence. Like JT's reading said, spirit first, everything else falls into place. See, self-awareness and self-actualization play a big role in us living our lives powerfully. Those processes, they're both done, but they're done simply by us setting aside that time to be in the silence. So you may not get answers right off the bat. It's just a matter of time for you to keep being in the silence so you can become that person who's open to the answers. So are you ready to become that person? To take the time to be in the silence so you can hear your answers, because they could be 3 days later, driving your car, you could stub your toe against the side of the wall in the house. Boom! There comes an answer. Remember, it's if you've been practicing, nothing is over until you get it. But you got to be that person. So get in the silence to become. And let's start living your life, your values powerfully. So you're at choice to do all of this though. Whether you choose to incorporate spiritual practices into doing this or if you're practicing already. So if you are, then you start living your values powerfully. So wiggle your fingers and your toes and just integrate your mind, body, and spirit. And as you float your eyes open, just allow something in your space to bring you back to the present moment. And then with this moment, I'm going to take a gratitude moment. And I'm going to say, thank you, Horace the Bush, for taking care of us the way you do and that awesome opening. And thank you, Mo, for that fabulous opening prayer. You serve us so powerfully in your prayers. And thank you, JT, for reading that titled reading saying, Living a Values Principles Led Life. Love it, but it's a tongue twister. And see, but it does though, I had to say it because it matches and it speaks volumes to living our values powerfully. Simple. You know what I say about all this stuff is I love those aha moments, our insights. They rise up and we welcome the feedback that we hear because then that's how we discern what our values are. And our values are all different, but yet they're the same. It's amazing. They stem from things like introspection. They stem from thoughts. They also stem from our reflections of ourselves. They stem from our feelings. Oh, check it out. They stem from our behaviors. See, I'm excited to get to use self-awareness as a process along with self-actualization because they're going to be today the model for living our values powerfully. So the process of self-awareness and self-actualization is actually all about our true nature, our real, authentic feelings, and whoa, what's our motives or purpose for living? And it also takes into the account what's your desires. So the process of self-awareness and self-actualization are like giving our minds a fresh break. This leaves us with clear insights and renewed energy to move on that next day. I get up in the morning sometimes after a tough day, sometimes a great day, but whatever it was, it's over. Because I say gently, I release the past and move on. Or carry on. I've been saying carry on all week. I was telling Alan, that's my word this week, carry on. you know. See, according to a study that they published through the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, self-awareness is associated with higher levels of psychological behavior. But see, I'm talking now on the science side of it. This is science of mind. We are spiritual scientists. Well, if you choose to say that, but that's what I am. So self-awareness is also associated with our interpersonal relationships with each other, right? If we value other people and other people value us, that's just merely the tip of the iceberg. That's the beginning of us living our values powerfully. That's why reflection, like I mentioned a minute ago, self-reflection is so crucial. What it is it's what we do to measure our progress, to see what did I learn differently? Did I change? I know I've changed because I used to eat this or I used to feel like that. We just realize it and we make the necessary adjustments. You don't measure without adjusting. So when we get to identify and understand our core values and our beliefs, all this involves self awareness, but in a big way, big time. So when we start developing our emotional intelligence, we begin to recognize that we can manage our emotions and our thoughts. But there was a time, I must say, I used to say, I can't help it. That's such a lie, I used to tell myself. And sometimes it comes back and tries to haunt me again. So it's never gone. I got to stay on top of it though. But when I catch me doing it, I just have to forgive myself and I have to move on. But I cannot beat myself because you see, that's not living my values powerfully. So I just have to have a growth mindset. That's the reason why when I do the stupid things that I do, and yes, I did say that, because I disrespect those things. But at the same time, I say, okay, I forgive you for that. A growth mindset comes to me out of that. And a growth mindset, you know what it does? It welcomes these crazy challenges that I have. A growth mindset actually sees my failures and then it shows me chances for what? More development, more opportunities, a better me. Experiencing self actualization is recognition and gratitude. It's for my talents. It's and my potential. I got so much potential that, oh my God, but I can admit it. What about you? See, part of self actualization now, that was self awareness, I'm aware of my potential. Now, here, part of self actualization is it's a process. And what we're doing is we're setting that time aside for us, again, like Jack Fowler was singing in the silence. But in there, we begin to establish and adopt some strategies. But see, you don't have to know right there that's what you're doing. Just sit. And it's another thing. Another journal on humanistic psychology. And that journal highlights the fact that self-actualization, what it does is it contributes to life. It contributes to satisfaction. And guess what? Psychological health. That's the science term. But I'm going to tell you, mental health. Still spirit. There's nothing about that. Spirit first, everything else falls in place. I can't forget JT's reading. See, the studies show how increasing self-awareness and self-actualization, we get life satisfaction. So when I became founder of this community, all of this probably was known by me on some level. I just didn't know all these answers yet. So I just keep living. But promoting the practices within spiritual community, it really leads to all these transformative outcomes from all of us. We're both individually and we do it collectively. See, it's all about the concept of living our values powerfully. And all we do is include self-awareness and self-actualization in our practices. So the impact of this process of sexual, social, okay, you know what I'm talking about. Well, you know, the impact of this process on our collective experience supports our continued vision of safe space within our community, where everybody within us and around us and with us are actually here to express life authentically, and it's their right. See, living our values powerfully is a win-win for CSL Charlotte. The science of mind philosophy in general is just powerful. What was he, the founder? Ernest Holmes. He expresses so many of his ideas, but many of his quotes and his readings can be really out there for me. So I have to take my time in his readings. But I'm going to tell you something in short that he says about this whole thing about our values. He says living our values is a vital and transformative journey. Vital. That's what he said. Well, he said some words like that. But you know what? He also says that it requires constant self reflection and growth. In our self reflection, what did I say? We measure, where am I going? See, as we keep navigating our journey or our path or whatever you like calling it, we face challenges and they're not going to stop coming. Because without that contrast, you don't understand the goodness. You don't get what the idea of your opportunities are for growth. You just don't get all that because you think life is so easy. So each step that we take invites us to deepen our understanding of ourselves. And yes, it takes drama in your family sometimes to help you understand you. I know. I was telling another one of my clients, we were walking as we were talking, as we said, if you show me a family with no drama, then we're good. So let's not talk about people have these dysfunctional problems or whatever, because it is what it is, because that's teaching me to grow. The craziness that I might say is crazy. So we got to understand each step that we take. What does it do? It invites us to deepen our understanding of ourselves. It invites us to find our own place in the world. When we actually practice value aligned living, we literally inspire each other. We explore our own values together while we're listening to somebody share, especially at our consciousness meeting. When we're listening to somebody share, we are actually listening to them share their values more powerfully. And it gives them a chance to speak. That's why I always think it's a good idea to speak in, but if they don't, it's okay. But then that also brings me to JT's reading, Living a Values and Principles Led Life. I got to take my time with that title. You see, I agree with the author of JT's reading because it says these words for you to remember. Be committed to your values and principles instead of, standards and ideals. Standards and ideals, everybody. If you are into standards and ideals, listen to this. She says, standards and ideals keep us stuck because we're in this polarity. What's right? What's wrong? What's good? What's bad? If that's where you are, you got to say to yourself, I do that myself often, spirit first, everything falls into place. I cannot stress how we can't say, is this right or wrong? Do I have this right color on? Do I have this right on? Oh, by the way, JT and I are twins today in color. We must have gotten the email. But you know what? I know my values and my principles. Yes, I do. And I know that my values and my principles really actually empower me to live my values powerfully. What about you? Living our values powerfully awakens us to our true nature. I keep saying, I can't say it enough, because spiritual beings is what we got to make sure that's what our true nature is. We know this, we better know it, and we have to learn. We're spiritual beings having human experiences one after another. So when you get upset with a family member, when you get upset with a friend, that is a human experience. When you get in the silence, you are finding what did Jack Fowler said? There is peace. And he said, there in the silence, there is unspoken joy. So he waits for that precious moment. So just like that, spiritual beings, you remember that human experience you just had a few minutes ago. It's okay. because you're going to get another one. So I challenge you to take self-awareness and self-actualization under your wing, but know it as something far beyond just simple words or concepts. Self-actualization, self-awareness. They're not just concepts. It's spirit first, all else falls into place. Because self-awareness and self-actualization are skills that we need to, because you heard JT's reading, should, no, we're not going to say should. We must develop these skills as part of our life journey. Self-actualization, self-awareness. Got to become self-awareness so we can become self-actualization, because in self-actualization also, I'm going to give you the spiritual point. It makes us one with this power within us, which you may call God, which I call spirit, which you may call universe, which I call spirit, which you may call Allah, which I call spirit. See, as we practice, we experience these profound revelations, what we really feel. So that's why I love the word spirit, because that's what comes out of my practices. The word spirit is something that I find, it brings me back. See, spirit, I used to be seeking this spirit externally for many, many years outside of me. It was something in the sky, supposedly. At the time, I think I called it God. I might have even thinking of calling it Jesus back then. I'm not for sure. I don't remember all of it, but I do know I wasn't looking within. But now I know what I was seeking eternally, internally, outside of me, has been with me all along. Huh? But by focusing inward and actually developing self-awareness, I begin to unlock that potential within me. I can only speak for myself, but I bet you as I'm speaking, somebody else here is seeing this for themselves. So self-awareness actually penetrates every fiber of my being. Yours too, if that's what you're looking for. What it does is it transforms us on a cellular level. This practice that I'm studying right now to be super duper more certified, it tells me so much that it makes me see that those cells inside, those every single one of those organs inside are nothing but spirit. And then throughout all of that, I flow with self-actualization, because from me being empowered by that, I get to summon that inner spirit to me anytime I want. Another thing I liked about JT's reading was when she said, my relationship with the God of my understanding is the utmost thing of importance. My relationship with the God of my understanding, not your understanding, mine. So get yours. See, look, she said, spirit first. I can't stop saying it. And everything else falls into place. So I ask you, how do your values amplify that incredible power that resides inside you? The more I evoke this power within me, the more wisdom I draw from my past, my visions, and I see my outcomes right before my very eyes. So my path is clear. And I'm so confident in this upcoming certification as a spiritual fitness trainer, because I'm talking about people preparing themselves for these human experiences they're going to have, whether they be getting better fit lives, whether they be getting more healthy, whether they get their mind more healthy. But that's going to happen. Because at first I had no confidence I was going to pass this exam in October. But I found out I'm on a journey that's going to pass this thing probably before then. So was this journey that I'm on challenging? Absolutely. But I built that confidence to take that exam so it can tell me it doesn't matter how hard it was when you started. Will people understand this process right away? I already see the right people already do. So if I get twisted thoughts, or you take my advice on this one, about my confidence at any given time, I invoke the power of spirit within just by calling spirit. Because that next song that's about to come up, you're going to remember JT's reading and why I keep saying spirit first and everything else falls into place. I told her, JT, this reading helped me bring up this song. So you got to get it. This is how I drop myself back into my visions. What do you do to remind yourself to drop back into your vision and away from that drama you're holding between you and that person? But this next song is going to powerfully represent your true essence, coercing us right now. If we just listen to it and feel it, don't try to decipher. What does that mean? What? Get it. Because it's going to cause you to live your values powerfully. So Beyonce's voice is going to amplify and she's going to evoke spirit within her. At the same time, allow it to invoke it within you. Because remember, spirit first and everything else falls into place. Listen to the song Spirit Rise. Spirit, can't you hear it calling? Yeah, I hear it. Especially when I'm doing something crazy. But anyway, I'm back, guys. Well, I like that so much because I'm listening to her constantly saying something I love to hear. And she's calling it. She's saying, Spirit, rise up. And see, that will remind me all the time, what are you arguing with yourself about that for? Because I just said, Spirit, and then I got myself back. The power within you it hears and sees every single thing within us. Okay, me and you, and it hears through us. It lives through us, and we can call it, we can evoke it, and every time we do it, the more we do it, the deeper we get into living our values powerfully. Thank you so much, Alan. So, guys, that was phenomenal first part of our experience today. I'm still beaming from the idea of all I gotta do is call spirit and I'm good. So, birthdays, guys. You know your birthday, and you know I don't know it, but you know I will know it once you put it in there because here we honor birthdays. That's the day you came to be. So know that I really feel very powerful about my birthday. And I want you to acknowledge my birthday, and I want to acknowledge yours. That's when we came. That's what we want. So, okay, don't forget that. Let us know your birthday. So, anyway, I'm going to give a big shout out in gratitude for our platform team today. Thank you, Horace the Bush, for being our MC and our ops coordinator, and also opening and closing prayer. Mo, thank you so much for that. You always show up and show up and show out. Thank you so much. And thank you, JT, for the reading that lit up this talk and sent it right on in. So our spiritual harmony steward, Groovy, is on the line, and I like to always thank her for generally keeping up the pace and all that, but she worked hard last night. So she allowed Timmy P, who is our pilot, who does cleanly help her and take care of everything for her. So thank you, Timmy P and Groovy G. So thanks also, Melissa, for spotlighting and greeting us as always, as usual. And Alan for bringing in the music and the announcements to us. That's fantastic. And Mo, as always, she's over there, like I said, chomping at the bits, waiting for those prayer requests. Put them in. Because I always say, if you have not received a prayer request from CSL Charlotte, you didn't. A prayer, you got to receive the prayer, then you get a prayer request. Sent in to you, okay? Then you go to your mailbox, yay. So before our last song, I want you to consider this. Today, we was all about living our values powerfully. Remember that during this upcoming week, that living our values powerfully aligns us with our perfect transformation every single time we run into our challenge. One after another, we're going to get them. So remember that. And before we close out, I want you to start something new this week. Like live your values powerfully. See, what you value, is it congruent to what you do with people? Think about it. I think you can. And when we begin living our values powerfully, we get to acknowledge our self awareness and we get that self actualization so easily. So come from within and you start. So, with that being said, before Mo prays us out, I want you to hear this last song. And
I'm ready.
uh-huh. And so what we're going to do is I want you to understand that your life is not complete in no stretch of the imagination. Not today and not as long as there's a vein or a pulse. So what we do is we can write our life out in front of us. We can speak it out in front of us. We can also call our life into what we want because everything as of this moment on is unwritten. There is nothing in your life that you can also that you can say was all predestined before you got here. So let's go for that song, Unwritten. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else could feel it for you. Only you can let it in. And you know what else? The rest is still unwritten. So whatever we had from the past, I release the past and I carry on. Not knowing what's next, but I do know all I got to do is pull out that blank page. And the rest I already know is still unwritten. What do you want? So with that being said, the rest of the pages of your life, you're going to create them. So Mo, please pray us out.
What a great message, Reverend Rosedale. Thank you so much for sharing with us your words of wisdom that we will carry through with the rest of the day and throughout the week. So as we close out this time together, I know that each and every one of us goes into this new week with an open mind, with an open heart, and with a willingness to explore what is ours to learn. We do so coming from that open heart, where we can touch people and make a difference, where we can show up and give people an example as to how easy it can be to just be kind. So as I release this and let this go, I know that each and every one of us that have been a part of this service today, whether it's online or listening again later on, we are filled to the brim with love, with hope, with future, and with an amazing platform for us to go through and walk through with the rest of the week. I release, I let go, I let God, and I call this service blessed. Each and every one of us knowing that we are blessed on our journeys, and I let it go easily with love from the heart, and so it is.
And so it is. Whoa, that was so powerful, Mo. Thank you for that beautiful prayer, taking us into this week, and let's just enjoy it. So, guys, with all of that, know that as we wrap up this time together, this week that you're coming into is unwritten. But you have the opportunity to start all over every time because we wake up every morning with a clean slate. Living our values powerfully is all we need to remember. And then we have these good practices and these good plans that we put in together. We're good to go. So remember, the universe is always constantly supporting you in your journey. Until we meet again, start evolving from, well, we're not going to evolve. Yeah, we are going to evolve. Start living your values powerfully. And so it is.